Hey everybody, welcome back. So while I'm getting cleaned up and geared up for my next project, I thought one of the things that might be fun to do, and some of you have asked me about, is to compare these two welders. On the left is the Vevor MIG 130, and on the right is the Simdar MIG 140. And let me tell you right here off the bat, if you bought one or the other of these and all you really want to do is flux core welding, there isn't a heck of a lot of difference in the way they weld, so don't worry about it. However, if you're in the market for one, there are some pretty significant and interesting differences, and I think it's worthwhile to cover them. And one of the first things you'll note, well, obviously, besides the fact that one is gray and one is blue, if that's your only concern, well, then buy the color you like. But there is a size difference, a weight difference, and more importantly, the Simdar will run off 110 or 220, and nowhere in the documentation or the advertising can I find where it says the Vevor will run on anything about 110, 120 volts. It does not come with a 220 volt adapter, and the Simdar does come with the adapter. So if you need the versatility of 110 or 220, I would get the Simdar. Now, the Vevor may do it. It does not come with an adapter. It does not say it will. I have no intention of plugging it into 220 and trying it. So that's a pretty big difference. We're also going to cover what it comes with in the box. Now, the Vevor comes with more, and there's no doubt about it. It comes with the MIG gun. It comes with a ground clamp. It also comes with a TIG torch, and that's pretty impressive. So, I mean, that's a $30, $40 cost right there, maybe even more now, I'm not sure. But a year ago, these cost, about $35, $40. So that's quite a thing to include in it. They both also come with a stick welding clamp, a cable and a clamp for stick welding. They both come with a ground clamp. We're going to be covering the length of these things and the thickness of them as well. Now, the Vevor also comes with a little set of welding glasses and a little chipping hammer and wire brush. These two things are nearly useless. This will protect your eyes, but let me tell you, if you weld for very long with only this on and nothing else covering your face, you're going to have serious arc burn on the skin of your face. Don't do that. You need a real welding hood or a shield. So, but if you need to open the box and start welding right now, this one, the Vevor, is the only one that's going to do it. The Simdar does not come with a chipping hammer, wire brush, or any way to protect your eyes or face. So if you need to open the box and start welding right now and you have nothing else, this will do it. But again, don't use these for long. Trust me, it's no fun. These are handy if you've got to stick your face and do some welding, just like some tacking in an area where you can't see. These are kind of handy, but you know what? They are not safe to weld with for more than a very short period of time. One thing I do want to mention, I bought this with my own money, the Vevor machine, for welding on my vehicle and around the shop. The Simdar was provided to me, or I purchased it. The cost was reimbursed by Simdar for the purpose of a review, but I've also used it quite a bit. My last little project, this bandsaw stand and the chop saw attachment to it, I did half of it with the Vevor and half of it with the Simdar. So I've done a fair amount of welding with both. I did a bunch of welding on my old Jeep with this, so I kind of got a pretty good handle on how both they work. And I bought this back in February, and this is middle of August right now. So this may come with something different. I don't know. You can buy both these machines for on sale around 125 bucks, not on sale around 150-ish, in around there. And like I say, it's been long enough that they may come with different things now, so don't hold me to it. They both come with a user manual. The one that comes with the Vevor doesn't even cover the machine that came in the box, so it is pretty much completely worthless. The one that came in the box with the Simdar is even smaller and more abbreviated than the one that came with the Vevor, but at least it covers the machine that you purchased. Most of it's about how not to kill yourself with it. but it does have specs on the machine you bought. It does tell you what the controls do. It does tell you how to load the wire if your eyes are good enough to see those itty bitty little pictures. And it does give you some operation, you know, some settings and things like that, and a little bit of troubleshooting. So while it's nothing to write home about or brag about, you know, at least it's something. They make different claims for what they come with, and they come with different things, not so much as claims. I got a cheat sheet here to help me remember what it came with. The Vevor comes with the welding machine, the MIG torch. It has some extra tips and nozzles, things like that. Nothing of any major import. It comes with 1 kilogram of 0.8 millimeter wire. It comes with the ground clamp. It comes with the electrode holder. Comes with the TIG torch. It comes with the brush, the hammer, and the welding glasses. That's what you get with the Vevor. The Simdar comes with the welder itself. It comes with the MIG torch and gun. It comes with the ground clamp. It comes with the electrode holder. It claims it comes with 2 pounds of 1 millimeter wire. My spool that I got with it was only 1 pound. I don't know why the discrepancy there. Maybe I'm looking at some old information. And it comes with some extra consumables, tips and nozzles and things like that. Again, nothing of any major import. And it comes with the 220 volt adapter. They also make, and you can see the difference in sizes, but they also make some pretty wide differences in weight. Simdar claims theirs weighs 15 pounds. Vevor claims theirs weighs almost double at 29 pounds. And when you go to pick them up, you don't feel twice the weight. So I am going to weigh them. They may have been weighing the entire package. Simdar may have been just weighing the machine itself. And I'm also going to stretch these cords out, and we're going to look at the lengths, and we're going to look at the thicknesses as well. So while I don't think it would be fair to run the Vevor at 110 volts and the Simdar at 220, one thing I would like to do is with the stick welding adapters plugged in, and I'm both plugged into 110 volts, and I'm actually closer to 120 volts where I'm at, is crank them all the way up and using a clamp-on meter, see how much amperage they actually output. And I want to thank Brandon Lund over at his channel for that idea. I saw him do it recently, and I thought, wow, that's a really good idea. I should try that. So thanks to Brandon Lund for that idea. We will be trying that. Now, another thing to consider is both of these machines will run 0.8 and 1 millimeter wire. In Imperial, that's 030 and 035. The Simdar comes with the 1 millimeter wire. The Vevor comes with 0.8 millimeter. In actual use, I noticed very little difference between welding between the two, but they both have settings for both. They have settings for both, each of them. Okay, let's get some measurements. We are looking at front to back, about 12 and 3/4 inches on the Vevor. Its height is, not counting the handle, its height is 9 inches. Counting the handle, it's pretty close to 11. And its width, couldn't remember what the other measurement was going to be. Its width is 6 3/4. The Simdar, its length is, if I count the knobs on the front, it's 12 3/4. Its width is almost 6 on the nose, and its height, not including the handle, is 6.5. Including the handle with the handle folded down is 7. If you're hurting for vertical space, the Simdar is considerably better. The rest of the measurements are not that much different. Let's see if we can get the weight on them. So this is the little scale I've got. Can I get it hooked on here anywhere? I may have to chunk, oh, there it goes. So I am reading, I would call that almost 12.5, 13 pounds. So much for 29. And the Simdar is considerably less, looks like 10.5. So this does weigh a few pounds more. And they both have 1 kilogram spools of wire in it. There's probably more wire on the one in the Simdar, Although, I don't know, there might not be. They may be pretty close. I don't think it's enough of a difference that we really care about. But in this photo, you can see the size difference even better. They're both tiny. They're both really easy to pick up and carry. I mean, picking them up like that, I can feel the difference, but it's nothing that anybody would consider major. Let's get them down on the floor. Let's stretch out the cables and let's see how long the cables are. Okay, I had to switch to the wide angle lens and I still can't get the entire TIG torch on that comes with the Vevor. I thought it would be fun just to stretch it out even though the Simdar doesn't come with one, but you can see there is the end of the TIG torch underneath the tripod, and that is 13 feet of TIG torch. That is crazy. Anyway, let's look at the rest of these lengths. And there's also some difference in thicknesses too. We'll go over that too, but let's get the length down. So, the shortest of everything is the power plug on the Simdar. Now I've got it stretched out. It comes from around the back. Let's move this temporarily so we can get a better idea at the length. The power plug on the Simdar is 4 feet. The power plug on the Vevor is 6 feet. So all the rest of them come out of the front, so I'm going to move the tape back to the front. The ground clamp on the Simdar is 5 feet, and the ground clamp on the Vevor is 6 feet, little bit more, 6 feet 2 inches it looks like. The next one is the MIG gun. The MIG gun on the Vevor, stretched all the way out to the very tip, is 6 feet 3 inches. The MIG gun on the Simdar, stretched all the way out, is 9 feet 3 inches. So that's a significant amount of difference. That's 3 feet more of MIG gun length. Now, I don't know that you care about it. These machines are so light. It's easy to get them up close to the work. They're so small and light, but there it is. The welding electrode, the stick electrode, hope I didn't put the one out for the Vevor. Let's do that. Sorry. Here it is here. Here is the stick. The stick electrode on the Vevor is a little over 6 feet long, 6 foot, 1 inch or 2, and the stick welding lead for the Simdar is about 6 inches longer than that, maybe 6.5 feet. So let's get it back up and let's look at the difference in the cable itself. Okay, let's start with the power cord. The Simdar has the shorter power cord, but it's interesting to note that it is thicker. It is, see if it's got a wire gauge on it. I am not seeing any kind of wire gauge on it. The one on the Vevor is longer. I don't know if you can see it there, but it is definitely a smaller gauge wire. It says it's also HO5VVF3G2, so obviously that's not wire gauge thickness, but the difference is pretty obviously notable. Now, again, it doesn't seem to have affected my welding. Neither of them overheated. Neither of them caused me an issue of any kind. Let's look at the, now the MIG gun, despite being different in length, I really can't feel any difference in the actual size of the wire inside. The guns are identical. Let me get them up here and show you. So the guns are identical. That is exactly the same gun. It's even got the same part number on it. I found it someplace. They are identical. So let's look at the ground clamps. The ground clamps are also different. Besides their difference in length, once again, the one on the Vevor is slightly thicker. Now, is it actually more copper inside? I don't know, but it is certainly thicker on the outside. And I think I looked on this and I basically see the same markings, which don't tell me anything about the wire gauge inside. Vevor heralds pure copper on all their stuff. I highly doubt that Simdar is using aluminum aluminum welding wire or some type of alloy. I suspect they're both copper, but yeah, it is. The one on the Vevor is a little, is longer and it's heavier. So there's that. Obviously I can't compare the TIG torch, but let's look at the welding clamps, because there's a difference there as well. Where'd the other welding clamp go? There it is. So here's the welding clamps. Both welding clamps have the same model number on them. They both say KB200 on them. There is some slight differences. The one with the Vevor seems a little longer. I don't know. They both feel exactly the same. In use, I couldn't tell the difference between them. And again, the one that came with the Vevor is slightly fatter. Again, I couldn't tell any difference in actual use, but if you want the heavy dutyest cables, there's no doubt that the Vevor has the most heavy duty cables, except for the power wire, which is thicker on the Simdar. That's weird, isn't it? So there's that part of it. Next, let's look at the front controls. A couple small things to note here. On the Simdar, the markings for plus and minus is actually cut through the sheet metal. On the Vevor, it's just painted on. So if that's a big deal to you, I don't know. It's not to me, really. I expect that will never go away. And if so, it's not that hard to remember which is which. Also, the Simdar, the power switch is on the top in the back, and the fan is at the bottom. On the Simdar, it's reversed. The power switch is all the way at the bottom. The fan is at the top. Okay, sorry for the fan noise. They're both fairly loud. I'm going to switch them on and off one at a time so you can hear the fans. That's the fan on the Vevor. Both of them, the fan stays on for 5 to 10 seconds after you switch the power switch off. Here comes the fan on the Simdar. Honestly, they both sound exactly the same to me. There's a slight difference in tone. It might just be the location of the fan. I don't know, but they sound the same to me. Okay, let's switch them both on and let's take a look at the controls. The controls are nearly identical. Up in the front on the Simdar, we have a little button that looks like a finger's pushing it in red, which is kind of nice. And as you push it, we change from MIG 1 or from arc right there to MIG 0.8 to MIG 1.0. And those are our only three options: arc welding, MIG 0.8, and MIG 1.0. Now, I haven't tried anything crazy like holding the button down and seeing if it does anything wild and crazy. Some of them do. Since I don't know what they are, I'm not going to fool with it. We have an amperage dial and we have a voltage dial over on, and you can see the difference. The Simdar readout, both readouts seem to be about the same. The Simdar readout is way brighter. I don't know if you care. That might make a difference out in the sun. It might not. Over on the Vevor, we have a button that has 2 up and down arrows, and we have pretty much the same settings except the addition of TIG. So I go from MMA, which is stick, to MIG 0.8, to MIG 1.0, and to TIG lift. Both of these machines also have voltage and amperage dials. The amperage controls both the amperage and the wire speed, and the voltage just controls the voltage. Now, I have had somebody else, another reviewer of this machine, of the Simdar machine, comment that they were in contact with Simdar, and Simdar says the voltage actually also goes up and down with the amperage, and the voltage knob itself is more of just a fine tuning. And that kind of plays in with how it kind of felt for me. It didn't feel like it made a huge amount of difference, but it did make some difference. Other things worthy of note is they both have power lights as if you'd need it with the fan running. They both have overheat lights if the machine's overheated and shut down. And the Vevor has a Syn MIG light, or synergistic MIG. Those are the main differences on the front panel. Obviously this one claims it can goes to 131, and the Simdar maxed out goes to 137. Okay, here is the inside of the Vevor. There is lots of room to load your wire, to get things fed. Kind of interesting thing to note is the machine has settings for 0.8 and 1.0 wire, but these feed rollers have 2 cutouts in them. Usually when you get these machines that say they'll do 0.8 and 1.0, the cutouts are marked on the sides 0.8 and 1.0. This one's marked 0.6 and 0.8. So don't know what's going on there. I tried 1.0 wire. It fits through the liner. It feeds with the 0.8 roller just fine. I had no issues whatsoever. Not much else to show in here. There's no real information other than a sticker that tells you have to use self-shielded flux core wire. Don't know what to say. It was easy to do. Take this nut off the spring and the washer, put it on. Don't release the wire from the spool before you do. Feeds across the top. Start it through the roller. You flip this lever down. You feed it through. You put that down. You want to adjust this tight enough so that it doesn't slip, but also that it doesn't crush the wire, especially if you're using 1mm wire and a 0.8 roller. But like I say, I had no problems with it whatsoever. Let's take a look inside the Simdar. This is the inside of the Simdar. And again, it's the exact same setup. It even looks like the same pieces were used. The nut, the washer, the spring, the holder, all look identical to me. Little less room inside. Plus we got a circuit board and a wiring in there. I think they just tried to make this too small and they had no place else to put this, but it's the same exact thing. You feed it through, you tighten it down. This one roller is 0.8 and 1.0. If that makes a difference to you, there's a little bit room for, I don't think you'd get a 2-pound spool in there. I don't think you'd get a 5-pound spool in that. And there is some hand holding up here, some graphics on how to put it all together, which is, certainly appreciated, even though it does not match the parts identically. But it's close enough to get you going if that's what you need, if you need that level of hand holding. And you know what? That's pretty much all the difference there is in the side where you load the wire. All right, so I think I'm going to end this part of the video for now. We'll call this part 1, tail of the tape, or something silly like that. I've still got more video I've cut. I want to show you the clamp meter results. I want to do some side-by-side welding. I want you to hear both machines running. I want to do a little feature check-off list where we kind of rate the machine each machine on its different features and functions, and where we try to come up with is one really better than the other, or are they really both the same, just different? Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.